Hey everybody, this is Randy Walker. We are live at the Saratoga National Race Course, the Spa, and we are having a conversation today with horse owners, Ewing Walker and Max Crisp, and we're going to talk a little bit about the joys and benefits and experiences of being first year horse owners. So maybe we'll start with Ewing. Talk a little bit about how you got into horse ownership and how the whole process goes, where just a horse racing fan can become an actual owner and be part of the game.
Well, I've had an interest in betting on horses since I was in high school, and Max and Randy encouraged me to become an owner recently, and I had a good run of luck on the stock market, and I contacted via the internet Gary Contessa, who's a leading trainer in the New York circuit, and he told me that he would train horses for me, train a horse for me, and that I had to put up a certain amount of money, and we'd look to claim a horse. So we claimed a horse. He did okay, but he got claimed right back. We did a couple more. Then we claimed one recently, Burb's Monarchy, for $30,000. He was not really as good as we thought he would be, but he won a couple of races at Finger Lakes, and so we're more or less even with him.
So what is the entry level cost for this, Max? Maybe if you want to talk about what is how much money do you need to buy a horse?
Well, one of the unique things that I think a lot of people aren't aware of is that it could cost very little to get into horse ownership. There's syndicates, and there's partnerships, and there's groups where a group of friends can all put in. You get 10 friends, you put in $1,000, and you can go ahead and claim a $10,000 horse. So it's actually something that anyone can be a part of, and that's the exciting thing. I mean, we happen to want to be able to make decisions ourselves and have some autonomy. So we decided to buy it ourselves, but down the road, there's a potential for us to go ahead and contribute to maybe a larger group and maybe purchase a horse that could be running in graded stakes races and things like that. So it's really something that anyone can get involved with. You got a couple of nickels you can rub together and you can be an owner.
So what is the actual process? You have to find a trainer first, correct? Before you actually buy a horse. So if you buy a horse, you actually claim the horse, or what are some ways that you can actually get the horse? You can do it by claiming, which some people might not understand. It's kind of a...
All right, so basically the process is, the first thing you have to do is get licensed. They want to make sure that you don't have, because it is a gambling enterprise. They want to make sure that you don't have a criminal record and things along those lines. So there's a background check. So you have to get licensed. Once you're licensed, you then have to open your NYRA account. In the state of New York, it's NYRA. You open your NYRA account and you put your funds in there that you want. Then you have to find a trainer before you get the horse, and the trainer actually has to purchase the horse on your behalf. Okay, so a claiming process means there are the majority of races actually run, at least in New York State, are claiming races, which means that if you enter your horse in that race, there's a chance that someone else could buy that horse, and it just sort of keeps the carousel of horse ownership going, and it makes the game even more interesting and fun.
So what are the then costs? Like once you settle on a trainer, you claim a horse, after that, what kind of costs are you incurring? You're incurring costs for a daily training fee and
right. So
insurance or workers' compensation, etc.
Okay, so the daily rate, which is the expense of having the horse in a stable and being trained, fed, cared for, is going to be your greatest expense. and it varies where you are. Here at Saratoga, it's $110 a day. At Belmont, it's $100. If you go to some of the smaller tracks like Finger Lakes, it's half that price. So it all depends on where you're going to have the horse stable. But that's going to be your biggest expense, and it's so you're looking in the New York metropolitan area of somewhere around $3,000 a month.
So now, as far as I'm sorry, go ahead.
And that doesn't include vet bills. So and the horse you're looking at incurring in about another.
Is there Obamacare for horses, or how does that work?
No, unfortunately, there's no Obamacare for horses, but hopefully Trump will change that.
So as far as then looking at where the money that you're going to be spending, so then on the win side, how much money can you actually make? Like what is the prize money breakdown for races?
Well, you have to look at this as a hobby that's going, like any other hobby, is going to cost you money. You cannot enter into horse ownership as a money-making enterprise.
It's very interesting.
It just really doesn't work that way. So it really, we've been very fortunate this year where we're actually ahead. But I think if, over the next decade or so, I think we'll probably end up on the losing end of, it's just not a money-making enterprise. So you have to, your biggest hope is that you have a horse that can, that stays healthy and sound, and you can sort of break even is sort of your best case scenario.
So Ewing, how has it been, what kind of an enriching experience for you has it been this past year being an owner? How much enjoyment have you gotten out of it? And talk a little bit about, kind of the ride, so to speak, of being a horse owner for the past 12 months.
Well, it's you have your own silks, so when a horse that you own gets on the track, he's got your silks, and there's a pride of ownership, and you're hoping to get a check. It's important to get a check every race if you can, and the breakdown is 60% for the winner, 20% for second, 10% for third, and 5% for fourth, and 3 and 2. So if you can hit the board most of the time, you're going to have a pretty good chance of breaking even. But so that's the interesting thing, is you're always hoping, you're rooting for a horse to come in fourth rather than fifth.
Well, we've had fun having this conversation today, and I know that all you horse racing fans out there will hopefully learn a little bit about how you can break in and be a part of this experience of being a horse owner, and maybe you can have a winner at Finger Lakes, maybe you can have a winner at Saratoga, or even just run at Saratoga, or maybe something bigger. But I hope this conversation today would shed some light on horse ownership. And before we sign off, we want to thank our sponsors. Gatorade is our sponsor of this program, and also Avion Tequila, which is also a sponsor here of the Saratoga National Race Course. So for Randy Walker, Ewing Walker, and Max Crisp, we are over and out.
Take care.
Okay.